The Big Call with Bruce, Tuesday, December 27, 2016, Intel only. From Bruce, we did miss it for Christmas. I am feeling very good what I have heard the last few days. We are in a great place. Just hang in there a little bit longer. We would all like to celebrate New Year's completely hydrated financially. With any success that would be our case. I didn't think we would be on this call live. I thought we would be basically exchanging now. We are going to discuss how we handle intel when it comes in. From Sue, we heard, we believed, and rate the intel when it comes. How good is it? From Bruce, yes, I rate the intel on the scale of 1 to 10. Sometimes we go above 10 if it is super strong intel. Once we do the rating, we talk about it. From Sue, we evaluate it. We digest it. It is a real method of scientific inquiry. We heard it was very close. We heard 10.5 intel. Just like you, then nothing. It didn't pan out. We hear the intel, then it moves like clouds, it shifts. There are 3 things we are going to have to get really good at as we go in the future when you can't see something and you are trying to figure it out and navigate it. Bruce has been leading this call for 5 years. That is navigating with a lot of change. A lot of you have been listening to Bruce for 5 years. How are you going to navigate from now on and not get bum out? The goal is to bounce back and not get to blaming intel providers, or blame yourself, or get down. Get yourself emotionally lined up with best possible decision for the moment. Listen to the intel, walk away from it. Instead of depending on the intel, you take action and live your life based on if it happens. If it doesn't happen, you still going to be strong and you can still do this. You stay centered. See the intel through your power instead of giving your power away. From Bruce, it has been 12 years for me on this ride. We don't hold our breath every time a certain piece of intel comes out. We know the signs. Maybe we see it through different lenses. It is very important we have plan A still. If I knew it would have been 12 years, maybe my plan A would have been different. Maybe I would not even have done the big call. I took the trek I took. This is something I am doing out of love and I enjoy. It is bringing you good information we get, but also God's word, prayer, and comfort. I want to be someone who lifts you up, doesn't tear you down. You guys know my heart on that. My thing is, if I get criticized here and there, I blow it off. It doesn't affect me directly. I am immune to it to an extent. We get thankful emails, but realize guys, Sue, Bob, Pastor Stephen, Kent and myself are in the same boat. We may get certain things more directly, but realistically we are just like you. We have currency and looking forward to the exchange process. It is important realize we do get let down when we expect things like last night. We expected things last night. I expected to exchange today. I think we know why we are not there, and we figured it out why we weren't there last night. Look at the intel, use your own discernment. When I was reading and I was on a lot of blogs, I was careful not to go everywhere. Try not to let this become an addiction to you. I know ones are out there are reading every single blog, listening to every call. You have to choose what you listen to. Choose what is beneficial. I give intel as honestly as I can to bring it to you pre-discern and pre-qualified to an extent. I do discuss the intel with Sue and a few other people. We rate it, and say okay this is what it is, and then we discuss it. Tonight we are in a situation where most of everyone we talk to it is so quiet. Very quiet. Can't remember a time it is this quiet. I think this is indicative of a lot of things. Things are popping behind the scenes, but they want to keep it quiet. They want to keep it quiet for a reason. They do not want stuff to leak out. They do not want information to come out. Here is what I think is going on. When it comes to the GCR, we heard the GCR itself has been done. What does it mean for us? What does it mean to our 800 number? What does it mean for it getting started? It means maybe some things have started behind the scenes. It is in motion. We heard Iraq is in a situation where they have one more thing to do kind of attitude. As of 4:15 a.m. today, they still needed to pay restitution and past debts that were owed to Kuwait. That was the one last thing besides showing an updated revalued rate they needed to do. That began this morning at 4:15 a.m. My understanding is that was to be complete in 12 to 14 hours. We have that in a stage that should be complete. We understand the Tier 3 subgroups were to finish up yesterday evening or last night. I believe for the most part that is true. Prepaids are handled. SKRs are handled. However, I think even though the subgroups are handled, but the people for the most part are not liquid. They do not have their money. Why is that? I think the reason is because remember that term shotgun start. I think everybody including us will have access to the funds, in our case access to a 800 number for setting our appointments. I think those who have actually transacted their currency already, those who have been a SKR situation, or a prepaid situation, or maybe you are a humanitarian funding source of which there are 17 of consequence we know of. I think all of those including prosperity packages that have been set for weeks maybe months now ready to go out. We have heard they are ready to go and some have gone as the farm claims, the Native American being paid. All these different aspects. We understand they have been in a state of process. I really believe heart of hearts, nobody is going to see the liquidity in their accounts until we get the go-ahead to set our appointments, which comes in the form of a call or an 800 number. The timing for this is now very close because Iraq took care of the last thing they needed to do to be released from Chapter 7 from the UN. For a full sovereignty they need to exercise again. That very last portion to show their rate internationally may have been done. It is international, but not global. I think it means in the repayment of the $5 billion to Kuwait of restitution of that amount was paid in newly revalued dinar. In that sense Iraq is international. Their cue card's been that way. It is not in 1186 value, but much more. We can say Iraq is international but not known globally yet. The top 10 international banks of the world started to offer Iraq dinar for sale. I think couple of reasons it been done. Not mean we are to use banks for exchange, a little bit more time. I believe Iraq is selling dinar through the 10 international banks at the low rate, at the 1186 rate. That is a new thing. I think that Iraq is a much larger piece of this puzzle than we thought of with the timing. That whole GCR is just that. It is ready to go, but tied to the major currency we know are in the first basket. Maybe 6 or even 7 in the first basket. What else we know is 31st of December is New Year's Eve, and it is the day the UN operational rates supposed to show effectively. Will they change on the 29th, which be Thursday, or not show the change until the 31st? We don't know that. On the 31st, the Vietnamese dong and Iraqi dinar, their rates are supposed to change and reflect that change. The John Q public is not to start until later in the month of January, somewhere the 18th or 19th of January. What about us paying attention as part of the internet group? We, especially those of us who have Zim, they would like to take the Zim in between now and the end of the year. That is 3½ days to go. I think that is a good sign. What I am hearing, if that is their plan, which I believe it is, we should get a heads up pretty soon. We thought we would go last night. Some woken up, what happened? We weren't there, but hopefully we are there now and ready. The rates have been bouncing up and down on the Zim, different rates. We have a privately negotiated rate available for all the currencies if you have humanitarian projects. If you don't have a project of your own without longevity but only a few years, you can be part of our project Rebuild America. You can use that if you want. We will be putting it together and you can be part of it. We will deal with a lot of infrastructure that would have longevity, create jobs, and have longevity of 5 to 50 years. My goal is to take us from hands-on to philanthropy of giving to number of humanitarian projects. The money we are looking at is much greater than we thought when we started the big call. It will make a difference if you have a project of longevity of 50 years. Intel is looking very strong. Not giving dates, but looking good for the end of the year. Set your goal for 2017. It will be an incredible year for us. You should be excited right now for what we are about to embark on. Their goal is to take the ZIM between now and then. Focus on your projects, your presentation when you go in for your exchange. Weigh the intel with your own spirit of your own discernment when I bring something to you. Would I think we would be here this last week in December? No, I did not. Now we look back in hindsight. Oh yeah, that needed to be done. It is a lot easier looking back. Things could have been accomplished sooner. It was dragged out. Hopefully it is not dragged out more. I am optimistic, but realistic. Continue to do your plan A, and when this blessing comes through, that is your plan B, continue to make it. If you have a job, don't quit it. If you don't have a job, get a job. Let the blessing come to you. Don't chase it anymore. It is coming. I want to thank everybody tonight, Sue, Bob, and Pastor Stephen. We should stay positive, be in faith for it. We are right where we are to be ready for it. Thank you Big Call Universe, thank you Redemption Centers ready to take us in, the various banks we are going to partner with such as TD Bank, Nova Scotia Bank, Royal Bank of Canada, Wells Fargo, HSBC, AIIB. You wouldn't believe the amount of trans-CHES that went through last week. I am excited about that. Also thank you to the People's Bank of China who is behind all this, the elders, and those out west working out all the groups, and subgroups. Thank you everyone. Also other banks that are Tier 2 and Tier 3. We will use them also as well. Diversification we should consider, and when we have our mother lode. Don't put all your eggs all in one basket. Let us stay prepared. Keep all information we have talked about the last couple of years handy. Look forward to your life-changing event. Hopefully that event will happen before the end of the year. Good night everybody. Thank you for listening and coming. We will put out a pre-recorded call if this comes before Thursday. If not, we will see you Thursday night. All have a beautiful night. Good night all. Thank you Big Call and Bruce, Hugses. More at